Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roadmap to Freedom. We're at the 11th session of the project. Let's now look more carefully at this category called intangible derivatives of life: actions, thoughts, ideas, innovations. Certainly, one of the most magnificent innovations in music, perhaps the most famous symphony ever written, Symphony Number 5 in C minor, a derivative of life of Ludwig von Beethoven. One of the giant innovations of the physical science is the first law of motion, a derivative of life of Isaac Newton. All of these intangible derivatives of life, actions, thoughts, beliefs, ideas, innovations, take the form of what we call property. All the property that comes in the form of an intangible derivative of life we call primary property. The night watch is a derivative of life of Rembrandt. He thought about it, envisioned, and then created. When primary property is converted to tangible forms of property, you have the tangible derivatives of life, as I indicated: food, clothing, shelter, paintings, and so forth. All of these tangible derivatives of life take the form of what we call secondary property. And so property comes in three forms: primordial property, primary property, and secondary property. Your property begins with your birth, the biological derivative of life, life itself. Since that moment, you are the owner of your own life. The next property that is derivative of your life is called primary property, the intangible derivatives of life. And that is then converted into the next form of property, secondary property. Before you can acquire even so much as a simple table or chair, they do not exist in nature. There are no tree that produces chairs or tables. Someone must conceive of an idea of a table or a chair, since these are not products of nature. Primary property is the foundation and basis of all progress. Property has one source: individual volitional action. Individual volitional actions. Individuals, those who create property. They generate property through production. Individuals bring property into existence. Please note, property, automobiles, television sets, houses do not exist in nature. Those products are first innovated in the form of primary property and produced in the form of secondary property. The concept of property that Professor Galambos has developed is unique to his theory. His definition of property is not an economic definition of property, is not a political definition of property. In fact, Galambos introduced for the first time a scientific concept of property and a scientific definition of property. What the term scientific means, I will explain a little bit later. Here's the formal definition of property. Property is volitional being's life and all non-procreative derivatives thereof. Now, the word non-procreative is included in the definition of property to point out that even though children are derivatives of life, they are not property of another. Children are not the property of their parents. I stated that most people, if you ask them, will tell you that they are opposed to slavery. But can you identify with precision exactly what they are opposed to in the case of slavery? How to enslave an individual? Seize an individual's property to control an individual's property. And this could be further simplified by recognizing that when you have seized another person's property, you at the same time have control of his property. The seizure of property then is tantamount to the control of property. I will now give you a precise definition of slavery. Again, This is a precise definition of slavery. Slavery is the control of individual's property without his permission or consent. You don't even to add the word consent, actually. It's just for emphasis. It is important to recognize that you do not have to be chained up in order to enslave or be a slave. Chains are only one of the variations of slavery. For example, a thief steals your automobile. He's now in control of your automobile. You have lost control of your auto. The thief now enjoys the use of your auto. At the point in time when the thief gains control of your auto, please note he gains control of you and you are serving the thief. But is your service to the thief voluntary or involuntary? You're involuntarily serving the thief. Involuntary servitude is also called slavery. How a thief controls you? You worked for a period of time to buy an auto, but the results of your labor were taken from you. Therefore, you found out that you worked for the thief. Therefore, all thieves are enslavers. Whoever steals from you a dime enslaves you for the time you need to earn a dime. Another stole something worth 10,000. You were enslaved for the time you needed to earn 10,000. A thief is simply one who steals property from another. A thief controls the property of the owner without his permission. I will present you with now a precise and accurate definition of stealing. Again, this is the definition of stealing. Stealing is the seizure of an individual property without his permission or consent. One becomes a thief by stealing the property of another. One becomes an enslaver by stealing the property of another. I will now introduce a seemingly strange question, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, is there really anything wrong with stealing another individual's property? Is stealing right or wrong? What do you think? Do you think we should have a lot less stealing that we have today, or do you think we should have a lot more stealing? Or do you think we have just about the right amount of stealing? Many people think we need to steal more. But what do you think? I will introduce you to the trilogy and you tell me what you think. Stealing is always right. Stealing is always wrong. Stealing is sometimes right and sometimes wrong. What's your view? What if a thief who has just stolen your automobile announces, well, I don't want you to think I'm selfish. I will share your auto with other people. Anyone who wants to use your auto, they can put their name on the waiting list. As a matter of fact, zero, madam. You can even use your automobile. Just put your name on the waiting list. We'll give you equal and fair treatment. The thief is now sharing your auto with others. Even if you want, you can use it from time to time. Is the thief no longer a thief when he shares your auto with others? Or is he still a thief? Good thief, maybe. Incidentally, how many of you would rather have your automobile stolen by a good thief? Let's stop here. There are many new concepts we introduced today. I would advise you to listen to this session one more time. And also, if you want to help us in development of new episodes, you might go to Camerton.global, Camerton with the K, and donate to the project, Camerton Global. See you next time.